Welcome to another Charm Chat. I'm going to be chatting about episodes 13 and 14. I'm sure that's right. I always doubt myself. We've got over halfway now. And yeah, do check out. We've just put up like a midway post of our ratings. So me and Josh have been working hard on that. So we've just posted that. So it was super fun. Right, just to add Josh in. 1 second. Kirsty. Oh, thanks for watching. Hopefully Josh will be here. Josh, by magic. Ooh. Oh, I did that perfect then. Are you okay?
Hello!
Hello. Are you
Charm
okay?
Chat Day!
Oh, I'm so excited. Like,
Yay!
oh, just love it. Yeah, I love it. Oh dear, my all my things come off on my
Oh,
Blu-ray.
I didn't
No.
last very long.
I think it might have been the cats, I'll be honest.
Oh,
So we'll forgive
how
her.
are
Oh,
you?
so yeah, I'm good. I was just saying we've just posted our like mid-season check-in, which
Yeah,
we've worked really hard to put together,
yeah.
tinkering, and I'm sure Josh is fed up of hearing off me today.
Oh, I'm
Oh dear.
exhausted. You're a hard
Oh dear, I
taskmaster.
know, yeah. Like, Josh, help me. Oh, but no, yeah, that's all up, and do check that out and tell us your favourite episode so
Yeah,
far. We'd love to know.
yeah.
And hi,
I
Melina. And
wonder if
Matthew.
anybody loves one that we hated, or vice
Oh, yeah,
versa.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Matthew said, hope it's cooled off some in the UK by now. It is a little bit cooler. I've still got a fan because
Me,
it's really warm
I'm
in
your
our
fan.
house. And I'm your
Oh,
fan, Josh.
oh.
Like, do check out Josh's books. I'm Josh's number one fan. Oh dear. Yay. So obviously charm chats are every month. Josh and I have been dusting off our witches' hats, grabbing the Book of Shadows and heading back to the 90s to rewatch Charmed from the very beginning. So Charmed is a TV series that ran from 98 to 2006. It follows three sister witches, Prue, Piper and Phoebe, who juggle their everyday lives with saving innocents from meddling demons. And both Josh and I were huge Charm fans back in the day, and obviously even now on the
Yeah,
rewatch. So it's just been wonderful to rewatch it and chat, and then chat with everyone who
yeah.
joins in as well. So it's just, oh,
It's
I
just like
just
the
love
best
it.
thing that's happened this year, frankly.
Oh,
It's
I'm really,
so great. I love
really
it.
enjoying it. I really am.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously, I think it was yesterday, there was the sad news about, and I always pronounce his name wrong, so I do apologise. Julian McMahon, I want to say it is. He sadly passed away at the age of 56. So I thought I'd just open up and say, what a young age to pass away. What a tragic loss as well. He was so, so brilliant. I loved him since when he was in Home and Away.
Yeah,
Um,
of
Back in
course.
the day, that was the first time I saw him
Yeah,
in Home and Away, and then obviously Charmed and Nip Tuck,
yeah,
and then other things as well. But
yeah.
obviously, we haven't met Cole in Charmed yet.
No,
He's still to come, but I'm sure when we do later seasons, we'll chat more about him. But have you got like a favourite Cole moment that you share?
I've got millions
Just
of
as
them because
so
he
so
brought
good.
so much to the show. He brought so much
Yeah.
joy and energy, and he
Mm,
just sort of he could do drama, he could do comedy, he could do
yeah.
physical, sort of the comedy and the action. He was just so great. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to the seasons that he's in because
Yeah.
he really brought something
So good.
special to Charmed.
Yeah. And then I always love the one that always sticks in my memory. There's a couple. Oh, it's just too many to choose from, really.
Yeah,
But his interactions with Prue in season 3,
yeah.
I cannot wait till we get to those because they were insane. The chemistry they had.
Weirdly,
Um,
one of my favorite moments is a Prue Cole episode. It's season
Oh,
3. It's the episode "The Good, the Bad, and the Curse."
yes, that's the one I was thinking.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool. What was your favourite bit in that
So
then?
it
Cole
kind
bit.
of does that like it is an interaction between them two where he kind of like he does like this hand on the
Oh yeah.
wall, like he's like, oh, it's hot. I was like, whoo! But it's just the way that they stare at each other, and you can just tell like they were in love with each other. That's how it comes
Yeah.
across. What's
They
your favourite moment in that episode?
My favourite moment in that episode is right towards the end. It's the episode where they've kind of travelled back into the Wild West.
Oh yeah.
Cole still has his demonic powers, but he's trying not to use them because he wants to prove, especially to Prue, that he's good enough for Phoebe.
Mm,
He's not evil
mm,
anymore, even though he
yeah.
did kind of try to kill them previously in that
Yeah.
season. He, yeah, it's a moment right at the end of the episode. He has a quick draw standoff with
Mm,
typical, Western goon, and of
yeah.
course Cole wins because he's got a fireball rather than a firearm. And it's
Of
that moment
course.
where he wins, the guy goes up in flames, and Cole laughs and
Mm, mm,
he sort of thinks it's hilarious. He won and it's so funny. And then Prue comes in and she goes, "Oh, I guess," something like, "Oh, I guess nothing has actually
yeah.
changed." Um,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
it's such
love
a
that.
great little moment because the
Yeah.
show really plays around with his temptation into the dark side, but his
Mm,
wanting to be good as well. And that moment encapsulates it brilliantly, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah. There's also a scene like later on, without going into too many spoilers, but I think it's in season 5, I want to say, where I think the sisters go and visit him at his apartment and he's looking rather dashing. He's got like this really like grey, peppery beard going on.
Yeah,
And basically, I think off the top of my head, I think he's like trying to come up with ideas how to hurt himself or
he is.
something like that. So he
Yeah,
like magics like a guillotine in the middle of the living room. And just as
yeah.
he tries to like pull the guillotine down, I think Piper freezes. And I think he says, "Can you at least let me not die in peace?" or something.
Yeah.
Which the way he delivers the line is just like, it's brilliant. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I love how
such a loss.
they kept finding new material for him to play around with. Because in
Yeah,
season 5, he's already been back and he's been gone and come back
yeah,
again. And you kind of
yeah,
think, well, when are they going to run out of material? And they keep giving him fun things to do, which is
yeah.
just lovely.
And you can tell he was loving it as well,
Yeah.
definitely. So, oh, just wanted to do a little like, homage to Cole there, and
Flash forward.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But I can't wait to get to those
Oh,
episodes.
yeah. In
So yeah, so
2027.
or maybe sooner if we get our act together,
Yeah.
maybe. Hi, Sharon. So last month we obviously chatted about episodes 11 and 12, which seems like really a long time ago, actually.
Yeah.
But we saw an old flame appear from Phoebe's past. And an Egyptian curse, and obviously we saw Piper as the the Wendigo, which now I can never pronounce properly now because we were saying something else throughout the whole thing. Wendigo. Um, so you can watch those episodes on both of our feeds and on YouTube as
Oh,
well
yeah.
now. So do check that out. And obviously this month's episodes we're chatting about 13 and 14, and we're going to break down each episode into categories for the chat. So Demon of the Week, Love is Pain, Sister Bond, mythology, and more stuff like that. So please get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. If you're watching this back at any point, please feel free to comment. Me and Josh will always reply. So let's get started.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's do
excited.
it.
So series 1, episode 13, From Fear to Eternity.
Great
Which I
title.
love these play on the titles. I love a good
Yeah.
title pun. I love that.
Yeah.
So in this episode, is it 1300 years or
Yeah.
something? A unique demon, Barbus. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Who appears? He appears and he feeds on the fears of. That's a bit of a tongue twister, He appears and feeds on the fears of witches. Whoa.
Poetry in motion.
Yeah. And whilst looking with Prue for a good luck charm for a job interview for the next morning, Phoebe logs her name in a promotional list in the Wicker shop, which the shop looked pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah. It kind of looked like your library.
Yeah.
It had like lots of purple, pink sort of backlighting going on.
Yeah. It reminded me of the shop in the 90s, Celtic something. I'm not sure if you remember that. It was like it was like a little trinket shop and had like Celtic things. I don't know, I might have made this up. I'm sure there was a shop like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called now. But yeah, Phoebe logs her name in this promotional list just to get a discount. The owner of that shop is then killed of a heart attack after facing her fear of being buried alive by an earthquake, which was simulated by the demon. So he then gains the names and addresses of San Francisco's witches from the list, killing 3 immediately. Yeah. How does he do it? So he kills 3 witches immediately and then starts going after the Halliwells. Meanwhile, Phoebe and Piper discuss the fact that Prue never says "I love you" and also has misgivings about her new job, Phoebe's new job that she gets. And I love the fact that the events in the episode take place on Friday the 13th, and this is the 13th episode.
Yes, I thought about
that. Yeah. I was like, oh, I like it. Very clever. So obviously we start off with Phoebe getting good luck charm. Do you have a good luck charm, or do you believe in them?
I don't have a good luck charm. I really believe that you make your own luck. So I don't really hang on to anything that's sort of meant to bring me sort of good fortune, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, like maybe my laptop. That's not. I don't take it around hoping good things happen to me. I take it around because I'm constantly using it.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I was thinking about it. I think when I was younger, I used to like I'd have a key ring that I thought was lucky or something like that. But no, I haven't got anything. Yeah. So maybe that's where I'm going wrong in life.
Maybe
I need a good luck charm.
Find one.
Yeah, so yeah, I was trying to think, like, have I got anything that I always like, maybe like I always do before certain things, or like, like in a certain order? And I'm like, no, not really.
I do have, which was a gift from you.
Yeah.
Is a little pin badge, which is called a worry gobbler.
Yes!
I have that on my dressing gown, and it does. If I'm feeling worried, I look at it and it does make me feel less worried. So
Josh,
maybe that's one.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one, definitely. I love that. Matthew says that was an expensive Lucky Charm for 1998/90.
It was
really expensive.
$25 plus tax.
Yeah, it was only a coin. Oh dear. Oh yeah, Melina said she liked my earrings. Little black cat demon.
Murderous cat.
So we'll kick off then. So we've got to kick off with Demon of the episode.
Yeah.
So this is the first appearance of Billy Drago, I believe, as the recurring character of Barbas, aka the Demon of Fear. And obviously fans of the series know that he's not referred to Barbas in this episode, but in later episodes, I'm sure that's right. In later episodes,
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, they didn't say his name at all in this one, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So obviously he appears every 1300 years. He goes after all the witches. What did you think? Are you a fan of Barbas, or what did you think?
I love Barbas. I think he's one of the first demons in the show who actually behaves like a demon. Like he's creepy. Yeah. And he looks and acts weird. He basically
really does.
He behaves like a serial killer.
Yeah.
He has this look that is really sinister. and then he's sort of enjoying the pain that he's inflicting on these witches. And I like the way that he hunts them, he actively hunts them, and he enjoys it. I think like the way that he takes the witches' names from the mailing list is also incredibly serial killer-like.
Yeah, definitely.
It reminded me of the Terminator, like, you know how the Terminator works his way through all the Sarah Connors in the phone book to find the right one. That's Barbas. He's doing that with witches.
Yeah, he is. I agree. He was scary, but I couldn't stop staring at his teeth though. Like,
yes,
so he was scary.
I noticed that as well.
But I mean, even like the teeth made it more scarier in a weird way,
especially compared to everyone else's sort of perfect bleached white Hollywood teeth, and he just has probably quite normal, natural teeth.
normal teeth,
but they look strange in that context,
and especially with them close-ups as well that they do. But I did kind of like the way, like, I'll be honest, at first I thought, oh, I'm not sure if he's going to be a bit of a cheesy demon, you know, like we've seen before in Dream Sorcerer and that. So I thought, oh, is he going to be a bit like that? But as he went on, I thought, actually, he just... Oh,
that was a chair, sorry.
I just saw you go...
Barbara's tugging on my feet.
He's coming for you. But yeah, as we went on, I actually thought, do you know what? He's relentless.
Exactly.
He's just... He wants
and
his 13 witches.
Yeah. He's really succeeding. So it kind of makes you think, it makes you realise that this is a real threat, because he actually is succeeding in killing witches, which previously a lot of the villains are foiled before anyone actually comes to any real harm.
Yeah, that's so true. He's like proper. I mean, even when he goes to that one witch's apartment and she's like, no, I've been practicing. I've conquered my fears. He finds that little chink and he's like, no, you're scared of fire.
Just repressed it.
Yeah, I found him like, he got scarier for me. And I loved his little catchphrase when he's like, you're frozen in fear.
In fear. I loved his body. He really thought about all of the movements, the body language. And apparently the reason that he was cast is because the showrunner, Brad Kern, he'd seen Billy Drago in this 90s TV series called The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., where he played a villain. Yeah. He's very much typecast as playing a villain. And so he was actually invited to come and be on Charmed because Brad Kern was a fan. I love that. I've got a little quote from Billy Drago where he basically says that he was, ever since he was a little kid, he was a huge sci-fi fantasy horror fan. So to play a demon was a dream come true for him. And he said, I was able to walk onto the set of Charmed and be as flamboyant and crazy as I wanted, and no one was going to wave their finger at me and say, now, that's not how we do things around here. So he was given free reign just to have a really good time and just do whatever he wanted. So that was him being demon brilliantly.
He really fully embraced that.
Yeah.
And you can tell as well that like some of his movements were quite natural and not forced. So you could tell he put his own stamp on it as well. Oh, I love that.
And I think he has the best demon intro in the show, definitely like this season. Yeah. When Prue's car moves away from the steam grate in the road and the steam comes up and it's pink. Yeah. And maybe he's got like kind of a queer vibe to him as well, which is quite fun.
That's why I put my pink lights on. Yeah, I was like, good. In homage.
I'm waiting for Barbas to just suddenly appear behind
me.
Your biggest fear is messing up on Instagram.
I'll be frozen in fear. Sharon said, I love Barbas, he's so evil. Yeah. Matthew said, I'm glad someone mentioned the teeth. Yeah, bless him. And Sharon said, he can be my daddy. Oh.
All right, Sharon. He's got a good fashion. He's got a great coat.
Yeah.
He's got that salt and pepper.
Yeah.
He's got a good head of hair.
We ship it, Sharon and Barbas. Yeah. We endorse.
He's like creepy hot.
Yeah, creepy eyes.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So one of the things as well, I kind of liked is obviously the first witch that he kills in the store, she's like rubbing their amulet, a protection amulet, I presume. And he's like, amulets don't work. But also as well, he kind of, or he either says it or somewhere along the line, obviously the witch's powers get paralysed as soon as he starts, which makes him even more scary because, like, if you think of Prue in the shower scene, she was just helpless. Like, she literally couldn't do anything, and I just think that makes him terrifying, to be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
really
creepy.
Scary.
The only thing that kind of slightly scared it for me was just how bad the white wigs were on the dead witches.
Oh yeah,
they were like party shop wigs. You could see the hairline was really bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
it's and like someone made a choice.
Yeah, they made a choice. Probably a little bit of a budget thing.
Yeah,
and also when Andy says, or maybe Morris said it, because Morris is back. Yay!
Yeah, Morris is back.
He says these women have been found with white hair and their faces contorted in fear. And I couldn't help sort of wondering if the writers of the show originally were thinking more about Ringu, the Japanese film.
Oh yeah,
where the victims are found and they're all just like...
Yeah.
But they actually just kind of a bit like...
Yeah, they didn't look like contorted in fear, did they?
No.
I'm sure they didn't. Oh dear. So obviously, the mythology in this episode. So we get the mythology of that other witches can sense other witches, which has been hinted at before, but they actually do say it in the shop. And we also get the fact about the Book of Shadows being added to by maybe a ghostly presence. So what did you think of like the mythology? What did you pick up mythology wise?
Definitely the witch in the witch shop. I was a bit confused about why Prue and Phoebe were so surprised that she had guessed that they were witches, considering where they were. You know, they were in a witchcraft shop.
And at like midnight.
So that is pure witch behaviour.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was a bit weird. I didn't really understand that. But the entry in the Book of Shadows was fun. I really liked that it's the first time they've discovered something that their mum had actually written in the book. It wasn't really clear how she knew about the Demon of Fear, if it came around every 1300 years. That was a bit
I wrote that down because I was like, if he comes every 1300 years, and the last time he would have come was the 7th century, which is like, what, 1,000 years before, something like that. Or 1,000 years before the existence of the Halliwells, at least. So it was I was a bit like, oh.
Did she just have, maybe she was bored one day and she decided to do some supernatural mathematics and was like, oh no,
research.
Better put that in the book just in case.
Yeah. And I loved it as well when Prue first turns the book over and I see my man Javna at the beginning. Love that.
That's a bit of continuity. I did like that there was an entry, but I didn't love that it continued to be added to. I thought that raised so many questions. And I didn't feel like Prue would necessarily find that comforting. I felt like she would actually be quite angry, be like, I felt like she would be a bit more obsessed with it. It's just, I felt like she would sort of start writing in the book herself to try to have a dialogue with her dead mum, but that never happened.
Because the thing is, if someone can add to the book that is a ghostly presence, then surely there'd be so many entries by, like, extra entries by different people at different. It doesn't make sense to me that would happen. Does that make sense? Like,
I also felt a bit
all
like
the time.
That's your mum's handwriting, because it looks like someone printed it out from like a word processor.
Cosmic Sans.
Yes.
Or whatever it's called.
Imagine if it was like, that's mum's handwriting, and it was like...
But look, it's not my handwriting. It's got worse. Like over the past few years, they'll be like, "What did you write?" I don't
You've ruined
understand.
the book, Chelley.
I'm gonna die by fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't understand it. So one of the other things I noticed was Phoebe gets a vision just from a general item, like
From
the
touching the
water
water,
bottle.
yeah.
So I wasn't sure if we'd seen a scene where Prue had passed her the water bottle or something, but I didn't recall it. And I was like, oh, so now all of a sudden she can get a vision, maybe when one of the sisters is in trouble, from like a normal household item.
Yeah.
Which I
I
thought
quite
was
liked
quite,
that because she
yeah,
spills the water on her hand, so it's the water
yeah,
itself that gives her the premonition, and she has a premonition that is water based.
yeah,
So I quite liked that as a little sort of,
yeah,
I don't know, like a trigger for her. It's quite, I mean, it'd be quite annoying if,
yeah.
you like
Touch,
touching the
yeah, and then
something
you
that
get the
is related to
visions.
something else. Yeah, but
Yeah, but only previously we've only seen something that's got like you know, a memory or
yeah,
something charged in it to give her that vision. So I thought that was quite
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, definitely.
Mm.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, Sharon said 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐺 came out in 91, I think. So that makes sense. Yeah,
Oh,
they
the
were
book.
trying to.
Yeah, I think the film
Yeah.
came out in '98, so it was sort of the year
Ah.
before
Yeah.
this episode would have been
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
Kirsty said, I thought the same, but then thought she was just giving them a warning as she knew he'd come during the time. So on about the writing in
yeah,
the book. So I thought the same, but I thought she was giving them a warning as she knew. Yeah, so like a warning that he'd come during their time. Oh yeah.
yeah.
So it could have been that.
She could have even just written it that morning. You know,
Mm.
she was actively writing in the book suddenly.
Yeah.
She could have just
Yeah.
been, oh, the girls are not figuring this out, so I'm just going to quickly scribble that in there.
Or like the girls are in real big danger because this demon is just relentless and he's going to kill
Yeah,
them. So I need to protect them at all costs, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, I like that. And obviously as well, we find out in this episode, and I don't think we knew this before, that their mother died of drowning.
right.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm not
think
sure that
we
we
knew
knew that
they
either.
died. We
Yeah,
knew that she died, but not that she died of drowning. And obviously, this is the reason why Prue's scared of water. And
true.
Prue's biggest fear is of drowning. And she never went to the swimming lessons with Piper and Phoebe and things
Yeah,
like that, which is sad. Like
it
I
is
was like,
really sad because
oh,
it's sort
sad.
of it's real, and we kind of
Mm,
find out the specifics later on, and they play around with it really effectively,
yeah.
and you kind of understand why Prue is the one that is affected the most because,
Mm,
well, we spoil what happens, but we find out why it is her who really is affected by her mother's
yeah.
death, and I like
Yeah.
that there's yeah, it's a horrible, realistic thing that has happened to her
Mm,
mum. It's not that she's been buried alive by the fear
yeah.
demon or anything
Yeah.
supernatural.
It's actually like a human
Yeah,
element to the death,
and
rather
I
than
like
like
that.
a witchcraft element.
Yeah, and I like that she has a very real fear, whereas the beginning of the episode, they talk about Piper's afraid of planes and Phoebe's afraid of elevators,
Mm,
and they're quite superficial fears.
yeah.
And I like the way the episode plays around with, you start off sort of looking at the very surface level things that you're afraid of,
Yeah.
but the things that actually really matter that are deeper down. So we
Yeah.
discover Phoebe's fear is actually watching her sister
Yeah.
die, and that's what 𝐒𝐵𝐵𝐺 uses against them. So
Yeah.
it's
Definitely.
it's clever the way it navigates that idea of what are we actually genuinely
Mm,
afraid of, and
yeah.
what are we so afraid of that we've actually put it aside,
That
and
we've buried
we've buried
it
it, and we
deep.
kind of say we're
Yeah.
afraid of spiders or
Yeah.
the dark,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
so true. Yeah. It's like if someone asked me what my fear is, I'd probably say like fire. Like
Yeah,
that would be one of my fears. And obviously moths. But as you say, like on a deeper level, if I went really deep down, there's probably like so much there to unpack. So they do that
there's things that
well.
you don't like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't particularly like spiders. I don't want to be touched by spiders.
Yeah.
But what I'm actually afraid of, like, I'm terrified of the thought of like losing your mind as you get older.
Yeah.
You know, that to me would be absolutely awful, and you know, clearly something that can happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like that's very different to the fear of spiders.
Yeah, but they do that well with Phoebe, like you say. So, you know, on the outside, yeah, she's scared of elevators. But deep down, he knows, the demon knows what she's really scared of.
Deeper.
You gotta yeah, with his arms out. Feel the fear. Oh dear. So talking about the sister bond, so obviously Phoebe says to Prue and to Piper that Prue can't say I love you, or never says I love you to them, and it turns out maybe to no one. And obviously it's revealed that Prue can't say I love you because that's the last thing she said to her mother, which I thought, oh, my heart broke for her in that moment. So did you like that whole storyline of like Phoebe calling Prue out on that a little bit? And was it justified, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I like that it's a thing between the sisters that suddenly Phoebe has noticed and she's sort of not going to let it go. And I like the way they sort of play around with it a little bit and say it to her and see her different reactions.
Yeah.
And then I love that it's Phoebe who's the one who actually like calls her out on it, but she doesn't do it in an aggressive way. She does it in a genuinely curious, like, why do you do that? And Prue hasn't noticed that she necessarily doesn't say it either.
Yeah, so I think she doesn't realise, does she?
Because she thinks saying me too is the same as saying I love you.
Yeah,
which clearly it isn't.
No, so, definitely not.
Yeah, I think it's a really lovely, interesting aspect that really shows you how the sisters sort of interact in a really nice way.
And I like how it's Phoebe who says this, because obviously Phoebe's always trying to get Prue's love, essentially, isn't she? Like, ever since episode 1, it's always been, and yeah, they've bonded more, but I think Phoebe needs it. She needs to hear from Prue, I love you. Like, that's what she needs. Because obviously their mum died when Phoebe was really young. So it is kind of like, she looks at Prue as like a mother figure, really. And so she needs that love. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the end of the episode, Prue has said it to Piper, but not Phoebe.
Yes.
So it hasn't been resolved, really.
No, but at least she said it.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I guess. Kirsty said it's like ditto in Ghost. Oh yeah, when they say ditto instead of I love you. Yeah.
I haven't seen that film in so long.
Even now it's still sad.
Yeah.
So did you notice anything else with the sister bond? Because obviously we get the whole ending episode with Phoebe and Prue, and Prue going into the swimming pool and things. So they kind of bonded there, right?
Yeah, I think that it's interesting that, as we were talking about, Phoebe is the one who's noticed that Prue doesn't say I love you, and she's the one trying to push Prue to open up to her, and yet Phoebe's fear is of losing Prue. And so that's a really interesting sort of new twist on that whole scenario as well. And it's interesting that it's not Piper who's the one that she's afraid of seeing die, it's actually Prue. So I think it's lovely.
And again, I love go on.
Sorry.
No, you go.
I remembered that when Prue admits to Phoebe that it's the last thing that she said to their mum before she died, Phoebe's instant reaction is to hug her. She just goes straight into a hug, and it's it's just really lovely.
Such a bond.
She doesn't sort of He doesn't over verbalise all of it. She just gives her a hug because that's what she needs.
Yeah, definitely. And then like even like again Prue without hesitation, you know, Phoebe, well it was the demon who calls Prue and says come to the house, without hesitation, there's a demon on the loose. She's just had the traumatic experience, and that was like really scary in that shower scene.
Yeah.
And the acting from Shannon Doherty there, like the fear on her face was amazing. Like she did such a good job, but without hesitation, she just goes straight. She's like, "Yeah, she needs me. I'm there." And I love Prue for that. Can't fault her.
Yeah. When your sister's in trouble,
that's
you've got to help her out.
So I've kind of like work it and
sorry, I'm just going to close my window. There's a real rainstorm coming through the window.
Oh, we've had a big rainstorm here today. It's like sunny again now.
It's been crazy all day.
Yeah, we had thunder and lightning and everything. So I've kind of like combined Work It and Love Is Pain on this one because I kind of thought they came hand in hand. So I've just saw Speedway Chick mention, can we take a moment to appreciate Andy? So he was one of those, one of my points in this section. So Andy, I'm in love with him again. Like I've just fluctuated. Like
you love to hate him and you hate to love him.
I thought in this episode, I just loved him. Like, I just really, like, I loved him.
Was it the shoes? What was it?
Yeah, the shoes did it for me, like the white Converse. But I also just, I don't know, the way he, like, kicked the door in when he heard
Prue scream.
Yeah, Prue scream. And I just loved him. So I think he still loves Prue, right? He still loves her.
Too deep. They've known each other since they were little kids. It's just he's completely infatuated with her.
Matthew's put the fear on Prue's face was one thing, that bleach streak of fake hair that came and went from one scene to the next. Yeah, it disappeared, didn't it? She put a bit of dye on it. She got rid of it.
Not scared. Scared. Not scared.
So obviously work drama. Obviously we've got Piper is working at Crake on Friday the 13th. Because she's kind of a little bit, even though there's a demon on the loose, Piper's kind of a little bit out of all the demon drama in this one. And she's trying to avoid superstitious stuff, and she's taking it really seriously. As well, bless her. And obviously at work as well, Piper goes on this date with this eligible bachelor who seems too good to be true, as she says in her words.
What was he doing there? I think I missed this. What was he actually doing at Quake?
I presume he was just having a bit of food.
Wasn't it
I don't know.
Kind of there was like an event going on.
Yeah, wasn't it something to do with Friday the 13th or something?
That was fun. I liked how they had like the ladder in the middle of the restaurant and all that stuff. That was fun.
I love that.
I would have got on there.
So did we really need the whole Piper and this eligible bachelor storyline? It didn't really fit, I don't think. Do you?
It was fun. I thought it had a good punchline where she admits, and then he says to her, "Wait a minute, so you were trying not to go out with me based on a superstition, but then you decided to go out with me only because of another superstition," which I think is actually quite a funny punchline.
Yeah, that is good.
And her reaction of like, "Oh yeah, it's kind of a bit weird, isn't it?"
And then I think, doesn't he then just say, I think I've written it down, he goes, "Piper, I'm sure you're very nice, but someone who lets things like superstitions or omens to determine their lives, well, I just had an experience like that with my last girlfriend and it was a disaster. I'm looking for someone who's just not into that stuff. I'm sorry." I was like, ooh. That's one way to like say I don't want a second date.
I mean, I appreciate his honesty.
Well, yeah.
But the reason I liked that is because he could essentially be talking about witchcraft. So she's finding out now that they are completely incompatible, because if she starts going on about I've got powers and I'm killing demons, he would definitely be running out the door, because he's clearly dated another witch previously.
Yeah.
So
it's got to have done.
he just keeps attracting witches, and Piper's the latest one. So I think that it's probably for the best that they parted ways.
Yeah, definitely.
I liked it. I did think that her storyline was kind of a repeat of when she was afraid of going into the church because she thought she was going to get struck down by lightning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's very much true to her character that she would be this superstitious. Yeah. Matthew said they were getting ready for a benefit on Friday the 13th.
So is that like a charity fundraiser?
Yeah, it must be like a charity fundraiser thing.
Cool.
But yeah, so it stuck to Piper's character, so we like that.
I guess I kind of wish that there was a bit more growth, because she's realised that she, like, as Prue points out, you know, we've had demons coming after us, blah blah blah. So why are you so worried about Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
So I can, I don't know, but then again, I actually thought the superstitious stuff was really fun.
Yeah.
I liked the way that Piper was arming herself to protect herself with talismans and stuff. Whereas Phoebe was using talismans and charms to bring her good luck.
Yeah.
Because she's more of
an
optimist, and Piper's more of a pessimist. So.
Yeah. So both very true to character then, definitely. Kirsty said superstition saved her for Leo. That's very true. Yeah, very true. Shout out to Doug.
Doug's back. I forgot he came back for another episode.
I was like, is he a regular waiter now?
Yeah. I want to know what's going on with Doug.
Yeah. Like, is he still with Chelley?
Now?
Is he married?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't get any resolution, but I was like, yay, Doug!
I know. The curtains are back.
So obviously Phoebe's good luck charm works, and she gets the job as a receptionist at a house selling company place.
Yeah, SWA Properties.
Yeah, that's it. However, it turns out to be too good to be true, because Phoebe's boss is having an affair and basically needs the phone covering, especially if her husband rings. Yeah. Did you like the fact that Phoebe's getting out there trying to get another job and then gets roped into all this love drama even at work?
Yeah, I thought it was what was the subplot that happened? The finding the missing girl plot from the Wendigo.
Yeah.
This episode delivered that sort of fun hijinks thing that the Wendigo subplot for her didn't, I think.
Yeah.
This is like a fun subplot done well.
Yeah.
Because she's it's funny to see her in that situation. Is her new boss the worst possible boss in the world? Yes. Because she hired a complete stranger, and then immediately left the building.
Yeah.
In their care completely.
No induction, no health and safety.
Yeah, all she needed was to answer the phone and lie to her husband. But I think Phoebe, she's hilarious in it, and I love that she can't lie because it would compromise her beliefs. And then I love how she starts to write the letter that's her resignation, and she's just like, Susan, narrates writing this letter. It's so funny.
Yeah, it was like a proper classic Phoebe moment. I thought, it was really good. And then I also as well love that she stuck to her guns at the end when the husband does come in. She doesn't lie. She stands up for what she believes in, and I was like, and
he appreciates
that. Yeah, he does. And he does that like lovely little speech, like thanking her, and I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. Like the whole episode was just
thank you for not lying to me.
Yeah. Matthew said the boss was pretty demonic. I can't believe she asked Phoebe to do that in a job interview, basically. Yeah, that's true. Elena said, love that point about Piper using charms for protection and Phoebe using charms for good luck. Yeah, it's such a good observation, Josh. It was brilliant.
When the boss was talking about if the phone rings and this is really important, it made me think of that line in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, when Rose, the new boss, Rose tells Christina Applegate, if the phone rings, and this is really important, no matter what we're doing, you have to say, I'm right on top of that, Rose. So that's what I thought Phoebe was doing in this episode. I'm right on top of that, boss lady.
Oh yeah, I love that. So did you notice any sign of the times in this episode? I think I was too entranced by the demon to like notice, other than the one that we've mentioned about the manual signing up mailing list. Because nowadays you just give your email address,
type it into the screen.
Or
shop,
type it into the screen on the tablet or whatnot. But did you notice anything else? I couldn't picture anything.
The only thing I noticed, I guess, was Andy's Converse trainers.
Oh yeah,
sneakers, whatever they are. But I mean, they're kind of evergreen, those shoes, because people still wear them now. So
yeah, that's what Kev wears. Yeah, Converse.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I noticed. And obviously, like the phone, the flip phones and everything.
Yeah, the standard stuff. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I think I was sitting there thinking, did I notice anything? And I was like, maybe that's a sign of a good episode that I didn't, because I was just so like engrossed in what was going on and the subplots as well at the same time.
The one thing that really worried me, as I'm a homeowner now, and I wasn't a homeowner when I first watched this episode. When Prue opens the shower and all that water runs out into the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I thought the same. I was like, oh my life, that's gonna be like expensive.
Yes.
Be like, dry it out quick.
I know. Open those windows, get a fan on.
Oh dear. Yeah, I thought exactly the same. Oh dear, because I know we've had like a really bad leak in our previous house, come straight down like into the kitchen. Oh, so bad. Yeah. And like once you've got water everywhere, it's
horrible if it doesn't stop.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Because water just it's crazy how far it spreads. It can get into little tiny little nicks and crannies.
Oh. Matthew said Phoebe had one of those black chokers. That was very mid-late 90s. Oh, I used to wear them all the time.
Kind of like a lace, black lace or something.
I went through like a phase of like, especially when I started getting into like rock music and grunge and stuff like that, that I'd always wear this like black choker.
Amazing.
Mine had, I was going to say it had a little bell on, not like a cat, but it had like a little something there.
It had your
like
name
a
on
charm
it, Chelley.
or something. I don't know what it was.
If
like
found, please call 555.
That's probably I need it.
Oh yeah, that
still needs
the number for the SWA properties where Phoebe was working. 555-1212. It was like, I'm sorry, that's pushing the limits of possibility.
Oh dear, but yeah, I still need one of those nowadays. I get lost very, very easily. Kirsty said, me too, I still have one somewhere. I think we should bring back chokers.
I used to wear,
they were cool.
Top Man used to sell beads. I used to wear beads. Like surfer boy beads,
oh, so cool. Hussein sent like a load of cat emojis.
That's Chelley.
So any charming dialogue that stuck out to you?
Yes. So they're discussing dreams, because Prue had a dream about their mom. And someone says something like, oh, maybe mum was actually visiting you in your dreams and stuff. And Piper says to Phoebe, mom would have to knock before she came into your dreams.
Yes, that's a good one.
Raunchy Phoebe dreams.
Raunchy Phoebe dreams, definitely. I've got, because I think I was on a bit of like a I love Andy again thing. So I've got when Andy says, what would you do if you were in my shoes? And Prue says, first of all, no one should ever be in those shoes.
Yes.
Oh, and I love that. And then obviously
good to see Morris back as well.
Yeah, because I was really thrown as well, because when he's not in the episode, he's not in the titles, right?
Right, exactly.
And then all of a sudden he was like in the titles, and I was like, oh, there's extra bit in the title. So it, in a kind of way that's good, because it makes you realise that he's there.
Yeah.
Like
Prepares
it's
you.
like a special little nod before the episode starts.
Yeah.
Matthew says 555 phone numbers are a standard in entertainment here. They use them so they don't accidentally give out someone's phone number. I don't think there's a real 555 exchange in the US.
It's a fake.
Interesting.
That's why all of the numbers in films are 555, because it's a fake number.
Oh, I love that. What else have I got for charming dialogue? I've got Prue saying, if he can kill 13 unmarried witches before midnight, he'll be freed from the underworld to wreak his terror every single day. Phoebe goes, unmarried? Like being single didn't have enough problems. And then Piper goes, you can never be too rich or too safe. And Phoebe says, that's why I like shopping with Piper. That whole exchange just made me laugh.
Yeah.
I love that. Did you have any more charming dialogue?
I just have Phoebe, when she's talking to the real husband comes to the workplace and she's trying to cover. And he says something like, oh, unless she's got another husband that I don't know about. And Phoebe's like, no, she doesn't have another husband.
Oh, you just sense her awkwardness in that moment, don't you?
Alyssa Milano's comic timing is just amazing.
She is really good. As I say, I watched a TV series a few years ago, which when it came out, it has got its issues. It's called Insatiable.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure Alyssa Milano's in that, and her comedy she's so funny in it. And she's not like the starring role. She's like, in the background, but she's really good in it, really good at the comedy and the punchlines.
Yeah.
So I always think of that when I think of her doing like comedy stuff as well. So who was your sister of the episode for this one?
It is another tough one, because they've all got their own strengths and they've all got their own arcs that are very interesting. But for me, it has to be Prue, because she has the strongest emotional arc.
Yeah.
It's all about the fact that she can't say I love you. It's all about her mummy issues, which this episode does really well. It sets them up really well. And they do play out over the next couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And like you said about the moment in the shower, like Shannon Doherty really went through it in this episode.
Yeah,
she almost really drowns twice.
Yeah.
She's in that shower, which, as she was doing that scene, I thought, this is a really, really tough sell, because it's quite a ridiculous, surreal situation to be drowning in like an upright shower cubicle. It's quite like the water would have to come really high for that to be an actual threat.
Yeah, definitely.
And she plays it really, really well. And again in the pool, she's sort of like floating at the bottom of the pool, paralyzed. And she just purely based on the effort put into the episode, she has to be Sister Prue.
And I have to give her 10 out of 10 for the way she got out of the swimming pool as well.
Yeah.
No hesitation.
So cool.
She's got to have had a step under there. Like, there's no way. She literally just like straight out. And I was like, God, if that was me, I'd be like, get my leg up.
Wait a minute.
Flap around a little bit. Just 1 sec, Phoebe.
You get your top caught in your face, and
then I'd just do like a bit of like a slide, painful slide,
roll over.
And get up. Yeah. They'd be like, "Oh my life, no more." Yeah. But yeah, I've got to give her a dues getting out of that swimming pool, straight out of the swimming pool. Yeah, I wrote Prue down as well, but because I couldn't decide, and I wrote her down for the exact same reasons, I did write Phoebe down as well. I cheated. Because I love how like she just expresses her feelings about the whole love thing to Prue, like I mentioned earlier, and also standing up for what she believes in at work to do with love again.
Yeah.
And I liked that, and I thought, yeah, I think she gets an honourable
She deserved it.
second place Sister of the Week in this one.
Yeah.
I thought they were
Yeah.
both brilliant. Matthew said it took me forever to recognise Alyssa Milano in Insatiable. Yeah, she was fantastic in that show. She really was. She really was. Matthew says Prue was Sister of the Week for me. She grew the most and saved the day in this episode. Phoebe close second. Yeah, definitely. So what would you give this episode out of 5 brooms?
I'm going to give this one 4 brooms out of 5 because I think that the demon is brilliantly creepy and Billy Drago is just brilliant. He just so camp, so creepy, just completely becomes Barbas, Demon of Fear.
Yeah.
And there were actually 2 moments, Prue moments, that I wanted to just mention that I love because they're so in keeping with her characters, such like lovely little observations. When Prue is at the restaurant at Quake with Piper, Piper forces her to walk around the ladder so not to have bad luck. And when Prue leaves the restaurant, she just walks straight under the ladder.
Yeah,
which is just like so Prue.
She just does it.
So great. And then the second moment is the very final moment in the episode where she's sitting alone in the attic with the book and her mum writes, thank you for letting them into your heart in the book. And it's such a lovely moment because it could be played positively and quite sentimentally. But the way that Shannon Doherty plays it is that actually it's just really sad. And no matter how far she's come, she's still not okay with what's happened and it still kind of haunts her. And you can really see that. So what could have been a moment at the end of the episode that was quite grossly like, oh, it's all happy in the end, it actually has quite like a lingering haunting effect. Where it's still very present for her.
And still very emotional. It's such an emotionally charged end scene. And that is a credit to Shannon Doherty. Like, she honestly, like, I always thought she was good, but re-watching this, I realised she was a pure talent. She was really, really good. Like, honestly, like some of the scenes that we've watched, like, I just think, wow, like, I don't know whether she was fully appreciated for it back then either. Like, but you watch it now and you think, just wow, just amazing. Like, especially that end scene, like you say, brilliant.
She found the layers in the material, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree, 4 brooms for me on this one as well. I had fun with it. I got lost in the episode while I was watching it, which is always a good sign. And I did like the demon. I just thought he was like, once I got over like the initial bit, I thought actually he is really scary and I wouldn't like to meet him. Really.
I also really liked his sort of theme music that was just like boo 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 boo.
Yeah, a bit like bubbles, something like that. Elena said, I love how open Phoebe's heart is. She's got a good heart. Matthew says 4 brooms. Elena said 4 brooms. Elena said Shannon really shines in this episode. Speed Ray Chick said 4 brooms as well. So we're all like in agreement, really. Normally we get like a couple of half brooms and things like that. So
4 solid brooms.
I love that. And I can't wait till we get to the episodes where we see this demon again. I am actually looking forward to that, definitely. So straight on to episode 14 then. So Secrets and Guys.
Great.
I love it. So with this one is it's when a boy who has powers is kidnapped by 2 thieves who plan to use him for like a heist, like a robbery. The sisters get a message via their Ouija board, which I thought was really cool. That the boy needs help.
Again, says Piper.
No, what? Not again. So they get a message via the Ouija board that someone, they don't know it's a boy at the time, needs help. They don't know who he is or even where he is. They just get this message. Piper is surprised by the unexpected return of Leo! Yay! Who accidentally reveals his true identity to Phoebe, but can she keep a secret? Can she? And obviously he's been sent back this time to assist the witches in and Max, the boy who's gone missing, and also to tell Phoebe that he can't be with her because sorry. Oh, how could I? So
look,
sorry.
Phoebe, I can't be with you, all right? And I can't be with Piper either. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, so Piper. He comes to tell Piper he can't be with that because he's secretly a white lighter, which we'll have a chat about in a minute, and they can't be with witches. And meanwhile, I can't speak. Piper, I nearly said Piper. Piper is having trouble with the new chef at Quake. So there's a new chef who likes to stand in his shorts and make crab ravioli.
Which looked delicious, I have to say.
It did look quite yum, yeah. I have to admit. And then Piper throws it in the bin. So straight off the bat, obviously, demon of the episode. There is no demon of the episode in this one. So is this is the first episode with no demon? I believe.
Yeah.
Do you like episodes like that when there's like no demon? It's actually like a human element to it.
I'm trying to think if there are any future episodes that don't have demons in, but I'm drawing. I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank. I like the idea in theory. Like, what was the episode earlier in the season that had the demon was very much sort of like not really the main thing that was going on?
Yeah, wasn't that my mind's gone blank. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It was quite recent.
Yeah, was it the clay one?
Where it was clay.
Yeah.
The demon's barely in it. It was very much about the sister drama and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually quite liked watching that episode again because I think that a big selling point for the show is the sisters and their relationship and their sort of real life dramas. So I think that in theory, I like the idea of them not having a demon for an episode. But I think that in this instance, it doesn't really work because the whole bank heist plot line is so full of holes and doesn't make any sense that it actually is quite annoying by the end of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a good thing that you have the Piper, Phoebe, Leo subplot going on because that's really great.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit out of place. Like, I kind of appreciated that they tried to do something without a demon and put a human element into it, but yeah, it didn't work. But did you notice the van? Did you notice the name on the van?
Yeah, and I didn't write it down, so I can't remember.
It said Chelley or Shells. You know the van that they at the end? I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find like a still shot of it and I couldn't. But it was like Shell's editorial or something. I was like, oh!
This show is obsessed with you, Chelley.
𝐒𝐞𝐸𝐬𝐸. Like,
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay.
You're in this show.
I mean, I had a glass of wine last night when I watched the episode.
Did you throw the glass?
But I'm sure that's what I saw.
Yeah.
But, I'll have to go back and try and take a picture of it. And I was like, no way, it's even like spelt like how I thought mine was. Yeah. So I was like, oh.
Okay, well, they get a point for that. Did you like the not having a demon?
I think I would have liked it more if the storyline was a bit stronger, like you've said. Like, it was just a bit like, I want to know, I love a heist film and I love a heist storyline. Like, I'll watch any heist film, I love them. So I wanted to know more like how they were going to pull the heist off. Let's see the plans, like let's see them like concocting things, and do you know what I mean? Like a little bit more, so it was more of a threat I mean, obviously it was a threat because they shot the dad, but you know,
And the security guard.
Yeah, and
just
the
shooting
security guard.
people left, right, and centre, but
Yeah.
not shooting Prue for some reason.
So I would have liked it, yeah, if it was a bit more of a tighter storyline, I think.
Yeah.
But I thought, yeah, they tried to do something different, and I kind of admired that. I liked it.
Yeah. I thought that the guys who played the thieves were decent.
Yeah. The one was a little bit like, ooh.
One of them was a bit like surfer bro. Do your powers, man. But
yeah, but the other one, he was a looker.
Yeah. But they just didn't seem to know like how to kidnap somebody.
No.
Like he wasn't locked in a room. The door was open the whole time. He had these ropes on him that didn't seem to really doing anything.
No.
Yeah, it was all just really inept. I didn't understand it at all.
Yeah, it was a bit strange.
Yeah.
Kirsty said, to be fair, so when I got the names muddled up earlier, to be fair, he does tell Phoebe when he's practicing telling Piper. Yeah,
that's true.
I just got a little confused in my head. Matthew says they shouldn't make white lighters that look like Leo if they can't be with witches. That's so true. Yeah. Kirsty said the demon is unscrupulous humans manipulating magic for nefarious means. Yeah.
Which is a great idea.
Matthew said he noticed the van.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't the wine. No, that's all right. Matthew said, I was curious to see if they ignited the plastic explosives. Would it really just hurt Max and not the villains who were standing just 3 feet away? That's so true. I think it was fake, that. I don't think that was real.
Bit of plasticine.
Yeah, and Elena said the storyline felt a bit flat in this one, saved by the Leo plot.
Yeah.
So what was refreshing though was obviously we see Max, who's the younger boy. He's the first male witch we see on the show, and I did like that element.
Yeah.
And I like that he was a kid as well.
Yeah.
And just developing his powers.
Very tall. Taller than 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿.
Yeah, he was really tall, wasn't he? But I did like that element, and I thought, oh, that's good, because, and I would like to have seen that explored just a little bit more than it was. Like, even though Prue was really good with him and saying, you know, you've got to embrace these powers and this, that, and the other. I just wanted a little bit more there, I think, with that.
Yeah.
Considering he was like, you know, our first male witch that we've had.
Yeah.
So for the mythology aspect then, so obviously we'll have a chat about Leo in a minute. So I've kind of put him under Love is Pain a little bit. But obviously the sisters' powers seem to be getting stronger because they're like spring cleaning.
Yeah.
And like Prue's shown that she can now move multiple objects at once in this episode, whereas before we'd only seen her doing like one at a time. So I kind of like that they're developing their powers. Do you? More? Yeah,
I do. I felt a little bit like you really are pushing the limits of personal gain here, just by like getting a broom to sweep the attic and getting a squirty thing to clean the windows. And
surely that is personal gain.
Although you could maybe argue that it's like their like place of work. You know? The attic is basically their office.
That's true.
So they kind of need it to be accessible at all times to fight demons. But it was very goofy, like the way it looked very Bewitched. The way they were like props hanging on strings and stuff. It was quite silly. Melena
said, I wish I could spring clean like Prue. Well, funny enough, me and Josh were chatting yesterday and we were both like trying to put the housework on.
We were.
So we was procrastinating. So we feel that. Like, I would love to have a magic power that just like, you know, does the cleaning for me. That would be brilliant, to be honest.
I did feel like that Prue, I could sense that maybe this was around the time that Shannon Doherty started to say to the showrunners, like, look, we need to find a way for me to do my power that doesn't involve me squinting incessantly at objects. Because she does it a lot in this episode. She's like constantly doing this to things.
Yeah.
And especially like right at the end when she does defeat the thieves, she sort of throws some security guards, she removes some guns, she throws the guys in the safe, and then she slams the door and turns the handle. And she's doing it all by doing this with her eyes. So I sense that this is around the time that Shannon was like, I need to maybe do something with my hands instead. Because my crow's feet, you're gonna, you know, the Botox budget is gonna go up, basically.
Oh, that's so true. But like, I mean, but even like, it wouldn't be out of place for her to start using her hands. Like, it just looks like that she's developed it, you know, even further, that she can do that now. So it wouldn't be out of place, would it? It would fit.
But I don't think it still doesn't happen for another 7 episodes.
Oh wow!
So she's still got 7 more episodes of like doing
oh,
this.
Bless her. Yeah. Oh dear. Elena's laughing at Botox budget. Elena said, yes, I appreciated the male witch element, and I think the actor was underused. Yeah, he was a really good actor.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, he
definitely. Yeah. Kirsty said, white lighter mythology, they can fly and more importantly heal, but no beaming me up in this episode.
No, the beaming was sort of a bit unformed, and there was like floating lights, but not the
because
stuff that
I'm sure. So his method of orbing, it was different in this episode, right? Because it was like, instead of like a column, it was like a little
drifted
floaty
around
things,
a little bit.
It?
A bit like kind of like the blue fairy in Pinocchio. Like drifting around an orb of light.
Yeah, because when I was watching it, I thought, oh, this seems different to what I remembered. From
it doesn't go
previously. He goes.
Yes.
So while we're talking about Leo, then, so obviously we find out Leo is a white lighter. And I love how when Leo came back, he was straight in for the kisses with Piper.
Ding dong.
Oh, that way he says that is so hot. And I accidentally, as well, when I was looking for some like clips to share on Instagram, I accidentally came across like a dubbed version.
Oh.
So Leo goes ding dong, and then the dubbed thing goes ding dong. I'll have to see if I can find it. I was laughing so much, I should have sent it. It was so funny. And I was like, well, in my head, that's how I said it. I was like, ding dong,
ding
Leo. Ding dong. So obviously Leo gets told to fix the light that's not working as soon as he comes through the door. And to fix the light, he decides to float, and Phoebe catches him. So what did you think at that moment then? Because he kind of opens up to Phoebe, doesn't he, about being a guardian of good witches, assigned to protect the Halliwell sisters, and he's not allowed to fall in love with a witch. So did you like that he opened up to Phoebe once she caught him?
I think she was the perfect person for him to reveal his secret to. And I think that the episode very cleverly set up in the first scene that she cannot keep a secret. They all know that she can't keep a secret. So that was like a nice little setup for her being given the biggest secret of their witching career so far. And it's like a really fun little moment where she immediately thinks he's a warlock, and he's like, no, I'm not a warlock, I'm not a witch. And it's like, and he's like got the glowing light bulb in his hand, which is brilliant. That's such a great little
scene. I love that.
It's really lovely.
I love
I didn't really buy. He says that he came back because he needed to help Prue receive
the message.
Max's message.
I
didn't really understand how he did that.
No, I didn't get that. I was going to ask you, like, because to me, Max did that. Like, why did he need Leo to help with that?
Exactly. They should have come up with a better reason. I think in the future episodes, things happen, like a white lighter turns up and they're trying to find a charge, and they can't find them because they've like vanished off the magical map kind of thing. So they kind of explain it better in later episodes, I think.
But I don't think they needed to give him an excuse other than, you know, he's got in trouble for falling in love with a witch, so he's got to rectify it. That was all the excuse that was needed.
True.
You didn't need like a whole thing about Max,
That's
really.
Very true.
Yeah, so they gave him enough reason.
And I kind of really wish that they'd actually made it explicit that, like, the reason that he didn't reveal himself, so to speak, as their white
I wish
lighter.
he had.
Take off that horrible coat, Leo.
He's back in his coat.
Horrible coat. I really wish that they'd made it canon why he didn't tell them just straight up, look, I'm a white lighter. Because as the show progresses, witches seem to know they're white lighters. They have a good relationship with them, and they're kind of around a lot.
Yeah.
So, and they never ever explain that, you know, maybe because they were brand new to the craft, that he had to be more sort of incognito. They never do, which is kind of weird, I think.
Do you think that it's just because obviously originally Leo wasn't meant to be a main character, but obviously he got popular from being in the episodes, that they just like shoehorned it in and then hoped no one would like notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from when we're rewatching it and we're like, wait a sec. Because there was like things like, you see Leo in this episode like heating Phoebe's tea and filling her glass with water, and I'm sure that they never do those things again, right? I don't recall that at all. When he did it, I was like, oh,
it's
I don't
similar.
remember this.
It's similar to in the very first episode when Prue do something to a drink in the bar, which is not her power.
Yeah.
So she puts milk into the coffee.
Yeah, that's
which
it.
is identical. Like, that's their one thing that they do when they want to show someone doing magic, messing around with beverages.
Oh yeah. And I was like, I thought, I'll have to ask Josh, I'm sure they don't do that again.
No.
And also he calls his bosses the founders, but weren't they called the elders? That they changed that?
Yeah, he says in this, there are elder white lighters and they're known as the founders, but maybe he was just saying they're known as the founders of the elders.
Yeah.
But they clearly haven't quite figured out their...
No, there was still like, in between there. And obviously, Leo is obviously pretty essential to the story because he helps heal Max's dad after being shot.
He heals his shirt as well.
Yeah. No,
which is very handy.
Yeah, very handy. So it's obviously the first time that Leo is shown as using like the healing of a living being. And then, he did heal and restore the Book of Shadows, but that's not really like a human. So it's the first time. But did you like that whole storyline that he gets called away from the conversation he's having to then go and heal Max's dad?
Yeah, because that's quite in keeping with what he does end up doing a lot over the course of the show.
Yeah.
And it's like a nice, because clearly he's had that emotional conversation with Piper, and then he has to like get up and leave, and it just makes him like an active character rather than just sitting around waiting for stuff to happen. Yeah, I liked it.
I kind of liked it. Yeah, I like that.
White Lighter is such a strange sort of title for a guardian angel, like White Lighter. Is that because of, you know, how there's this theory that you could see spirits in pictures because they look like white lights? Yeah,
that's a good theory.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah, but I quite like that it's an unusual term that that it's not something that it's very memorable as well. Like, you're not going to forget it. I quite like it in a weird way.
It does, it works. It's quite high fantasy.
Yeah, definitely. Matthew said, I thought as far as floaters go, Leo was definitely a butch floater.
He did have his legs out quite wide, didn't he?
And Matthew said he bent over and picked up that toolbox in those jeans that time. That's how he got to be a main character.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was, definitely.
We need to get that ass back in the show.
Kirsty said, I reckon they hadn't come up with white lighters at that point. Yeah, so it's obviously they thought of a way how to bring him in.
Yeah.
Did you notice any other mythology stuff, or have we kind of covered most
No, I
things?
don't think so.
Yeah, it was mainly
No,
like Leo, wasn't
yeah.
it, for the mythology?
Yeah. I
And the
guess the only other
lures.
thing was that Max inherited his powers from his mum, which was the
Oh,
same as
yeah.
the
Which is the same as
sisters.
the sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt really sad as well that Max's mom had felt that she had to hide it from the dad
Yeah.
all those years. Like, what type of relationship did they have that
I
she
know.
couldn't? But he didn't come across like that. It, mind you, the son does say he wasn't very accepting to start with, knowing the son had powers. So
Yeah.
maybe that's understandable then.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, how sad.
Well, it probably,
Like, and then,
I mean, it is just like what Bewitched. She would have been like Samantha Stevens, like
yeah.
fixing stuff in the background for him without him ever knowing.
She didn't do no housework.
No.
So yeah, so the sister bond in this one. So I've got written down, so Prue says that she's not cut out to be a mom, which I thought, oh, bless Prue.
I mean, she kind of already has been one.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously they mentioned Phoebe can't keep a secret. So what did you think of the bond in this one? Because they were quite separate, really. They weren't really having to work together, I guess.
I did love that first scene where they were in their deck chairs in the attic and they were sort of reminiscing, and Piper was trying to get rid of Piper was trying to keep hold of things because she's obviously quite sentimental, and Prue wanted to get rid of all her kids' stuff. So I liked that banter that was going on there, and I loved Phoebe finding her journals and telling them not to read the journal when she left the room. So yeah, that was really fun, and I loved the Piper Phoebe stuff that was going on. That was the strongest stuff in the episode. Was even though they're not spending loads of scenes together, they're sort of they both have the same focal point, which is Leo. So
Definitely.
And Phoebe is essentially trying to educate Leo in Piper speak, which is great.
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, I love that. And then the misunderstanding bit as well when when Phoebe comes back and thinks that Leo's told Piper what she's on about the chef.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was surprisingly sharp for John.
It was good. I liked that.
It was very good.
But again, like in this episode, see, as I always say, we pair these episodes together so perfectly, Josh. We do it. We do
it brilliantly.
But these were two really good Prue episodes that just showed her emotion. Shannon Doherty's acting, like we've mentioned. So I feel like, we paired them well again.
I did. My one thing that I thought at the end of this episode with Prue was that I kind of wish that her arc hadn't just been, I don't know if I want to be a mom, and then at the end, oh, actually, I'm more open to being a mom. Like, I felt like it's okay to be a woman who doesn't necessarily want to have kids. And actually, that a more interesting lesson that she could have learned was maybe, I still don't necessarily want to be a mom, but I'm going to be an amazing aunt one day. Like, it doesn't have to be, we have to conform to heteronormativity, and I'm going to be a mom because that's the right thing to do. It's it's very 90s, but it's also,
I was going to say, it's very 90s.
Yeah, it's like,
isn't it?
Let's not try to box. If this is a feminist show, let's not box women all into having to have the same experience in order to gain value. That's what I thought.
To Josh, I love that. I totally agree.
Oh, good.
I don't think they needed to add that in at the end at all, really, to be honest.
It was very much like lesson of the week, but it was kind of not a very good lesson.
I think. Matthew says men are always trying to get women who have magical powers to not use them. in every show that has witches and mortal men. That's true.
Diminish yourself. Diminish yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be too powerful.
Do the housework, not use your magic.
Do your job as a woman.
Milena said, I like that Prue was so open about not feeling she would be a mum. I chose not to have children. It's something so underrepresented.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with us as well. But yeah, I agree that just the line at the end did diminish it, and they should have just stuck to their guns and gone with it, definitely.
Yeah.
Speed Magic said, I love how Phoebe folded so quickly when telling Leo's secret about being a white lighter, but then they didn't even believe her unless Prue and Piper were under a spell. No, I think they just didn't believe her.
And she gives them like a blow by blow. She gives them the entire thing.
Yeah, definitely. Melinda said, being an auntie is my superpower. I love that. And Speed Rating said, my niece is a mini me and my sister hates it. I love that as well. I love that so much. And obviously they bonding over those shared memories through the toys. So my sign of the times, of just jumping ahead just slightly, was the old toys in the attic.
So old.
There's like a little pull-along telephone thing that I noticed, and I was like, I had one of those. Yeah. I love that. It was just really nostalgic seeing all of those like little toys and things like that.
And I really noticed how in the previous episode and this episode, they're all talking a lot about their mom and about their grams. So they mentioned grams in the attic, I think, in this one. And it's interesting because, we're episode 14. I think we actually meet Mom and Grams in 3 episodes time. So they're they're keeping those characters present in our minds.
Very fresh.
Meeting them.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that. So work it. Job dramas. So obviously there's a new chef at Quake who's thrown Piper's knives away. But looks like he makes good crab ravioli, and he's changed the menu. But did we need this storyline in this episode? Like, what is the point of that storyline? I found it a bit irrelevant. In the grand scheme of things,
it's more real life problems that the sisters have to deal with. But it was unresolved. You know, he gets fired or he quits at the end, but you don't see any of that.
No.
So it doesn't have a proper resolution. So therefore, that doesn't have a beginning, a middle, and
it was just
so
random.
What was the point apart from to keep Piper busy while Phoebe did the whole Leo thing?
And then also as well, I hated the way that he said, oh, you can't fire me, you're just a manager. And I'm like, don't be saying that to my Piper.
Manage
Piper.
this.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of all the work it drama I got, and I was a bit like, oh, okay, there wasn't
just
much
like the episode.
drama.
We'll touch on it and then it's done.
That's it. So I just didn't know.
There must have been a cut scene.
There's got to have been a deleted scene. It's got to have been something. Matthew said Max's father's pleated slacks were definitely a sign of the time. Why did we even have those? They look terrible. Matthew said every chef I've ever known carries their knives to and from work every day. No self-respecting chef would leave their knives at work when they weren't there.
They're very suspicious lot, chefs. Very suspicious indeed.
Did you notice any other sign of the times in this episode?
I think the main one I noticed was the fact that they were breaking into a microchip facility.
Oh, yes.
Like microchips were like this huge sort of like thing in the 90s. Microchips. And now we'll be like, we're over microchips.
Old school.
We've got nano chips now.
Or Dorito chips. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, oh, the microchip thing, yeah, definitely. Matthew said, no, it's that those knives can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are
Oh,
expensive,
yeah.
definitely. So did you have any charming dialogue in this one?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got Piper at the beginning of the episode when they're talking about keeping the attic nice and tidy. She
Yeah.
says, a good witch is a clean witch.
Oh, I like that
Which
one.
is from Roald Dahl's book The Witches, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine Angelica Houston saying it in the
Yeah.
film, actually.
It's
Yeah.
isn't it the grandma when she's teaching Luke the lessons of how to spot a witch.
Oh, it is.
She says something like, the good witch is a clean witch.
Yeah. Oh, I do love that film and that book. It's so good.
Oh, I love it, love it.
Did you have any more?
Two more. I kind of already have mentioned them, but I'm just going to say them again.
Yeah.
Phoebe up in the attic when they've found her old diaries and she has to leave the room and she says, don't look in my diary at Prue.
Yeah,
just
I love that.
And then Piper opens the front door before Leo has a chance to ring the bell and Leo says, ding dong.
Ding dong. I'm never going to forget it, ever.
We should stop talking about Leo and his dong.
And his ding.
All red.
I know. Oh, got all warm. Need to turn the fan up.
Yeah, you took the window again.
Charming dialogue for me. For some reason, I don't know why I've written this down. I'll be honest, but I've written a line from Andy, who like is.
I almost did an Andy line, but you do. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it's the same one.
Yeah.
So, I love the line where he says to Prue when she's like told him the story of Max. You know, I hear a lot of stories in my line of work, but yours are always very entertaining.
Yes. That's the one I wrote down.
Oh yeah, we see we're like in sync. But I love that line, like from Andy.
Yeah.
Originally, I was like, why have I written an Andy line down? But now I think about it, like he's becoming more accepting of what Prue is saying, and I really love that. And
there was a big jump in their relationship the past two episodes, I think, especially in this one where she is stumped on how to find this Max who has reached out for help, and so she goes to Andy, which is like quite a big thing for her to do because she's been caught up in a lot of cases by now.
She has.
Pretty much every single week he has found her at a crime scene.
That does get commented on as well, doesn't it?
So for her to actually willingly go in and say, look, I kind of like somehow found out that I need to help someone called Max, but I'm not going to tell you how or why. Do you know anything?
It's the way he types. So sign of the times of the computer where he puts Max just in the computer.
The computer says no.
Yeah. But maybe like the episode The Wendigo episode has affected him and he's become more accepting because obviously he was quite heavily involved in that. So maybe it's helped.
Who healed him in his shirt after the Wendigo? Did he get healed?
I don't know. No, I think he just was lying there. I don't know. I can't remember.
Maybe. I don't know. I swear his shirt gets healed, but whatever.
Yeah. But maybe
Prue did her fall. Prue did the charmed fall.
Oh yes, she did
In this episode.
I meant to bring that up as well about the fall. To the side.
Land on your arm.
Oh dear. I can't wait to the day I fall over. Right, I've watched that much Charmed now that when I fall, I'm going to be so graceful.
You're going to dislocate your shoulder because you're going like that.
Arm out. Kev will be like, I'll catch you. And I'll be like, no, I need to do the Charmed fall.
I've watched enough Charmed. I know how to fall.
Yeah, I know how to fall now. Oh God, nowadays it's the getting back up
Yeah.
that is like the
Yeah.
hear
They
all
need
the
a charm
creaks.
to get up.
Yeah,
Well, Prue did it in the pool.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Oh dear, goals. The other line I've got is about the stupid chef when Phoebe goes. I think she calls the Craig or something to speak to Piper, and he goes, "He sounds like a real piece of work. He does have a nice voice, though. What's he look like?" And Piper goes, "A complete and total jerk."
Yeah. And he does. He really does.
Yeah, definitely.
He's wearing Bermuda shorts in the kitchen and like sliders.
Yeah. Crazy, with like really thick white socks as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen.
Oh, Karen.
Matthew said Andy had so much hair gel in this time that his hair actually sparkled a bit. Oh, that's why I liked him in these two episodes, maybe. So, sister of the week in this, sister of the episode, sorry, in this one.
100% Phoebe.
Oh. Wow, I didn't write Phoebe, but go on, on.
But, yeah, I loved her giving Leo the translations of what he's trying to say to Piper to break up with her, but he's actually saying something completely different that he wouldn't understand because he's a man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, that is a good point.
I just think Phoebe is so great in this episode. I think Piper's kind of like fussing around with her stupid new chef and it's not particularly interesting. She does have that lovely moment when she completely understands Leo leaving town and she's not being over dramatic about it. She's doesn't want to get into a relationship that's long distance anyway. She's very mature about that whole thing, which is great.
I kind of liked that as well. She kind of gives him a kiss as well, doesn't she? And she's like, I understand.
Yeah, she's not holding a grudge.
Yeah. And I don't know, Leo seems to admire her even more for like having that reaction as well. You see it in his little gorgeous face. So I wrote that Prue was sister of the week because she's so determined to find Max and protect him and help him. And obviously, essentially, she saves Max, which is like the main storyline of the episode. It
takes her quite a long time to save him, I would say. You know, we've just seen her mopping up the windows and sweeping the floor and all this kind of stuff, but yet she can't take a gun and a bomb device at the same time.
No, that's it.
Sense.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because why couldn't she just like zap the bomb device out of the guy's hand? There was probably a few plot holes there.
But yeah, she was determined and she was doing the right thing.
She was doing the right thing, and I love how that, like she has been with Phoebe and Piper, she automatically went into that role of, you know, wanting to protect Max and you know, tell him, you know, you'll get to learn your powers, you know, and putting them back together in a weird way, like their relationship with like Max and his dad, like helping that, and I kind of liked that.
I did think it was a bit weird when the dad said that he wanted her to go to the cemetery with them, because she just sort of stands behind them so that he can demonstrate what a good dad he is now. It's a bit weird.
That was a bit random.
It was a nice moment.
Yeah, it was a nice moment. Cameron said my earrings, that one is Cherry, my cat, and one is Penny, your cat.
Yes, that does look a lot like Penny most of the time.
It does look a lot like Cherry, definitely. So how many brooms out of 5 would you give this one?
I'm going to give this one 3. I love all the Piper and Phoebe stuff, but the Prue plot I found quite tedious and slow. Didn't really make any sense. Like the plot itself, it sounds great. You know, these real villains, like regular guys who are taking advantage of a young witch in order to rob a bank, which is a great idea. And then it just sort of like doesn't. It just sort of just do it.
Just goes,
properly.
doesn't doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really do much, does it?
No.
Really, it just does what it says on the tin, and that's it.
Yeah.
So no, I agree. I gave this 3 brooms as well. Yeah, so
matching
this time. Yeah. I agree with what you said. I just think it was one of those episodes that's watchable and you can enjoy it, but I probably won't. I will remember it for Ding Dong, but like.
You'll never forget. We'll always have Ding Dong.
We'll always have Ding Dong in this episode. So I will remember it for that, but that's probably not the reason that I should remember it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 stars.
It's a shame because it's quite an important episode for Leo. So
that's it.
You kind of want it to be one that you go back to a lot in order to see the beginning of the White Lighter sort of thread.
But at least like his storyline in this wasn't overshadowed in any way by like a big demon or, you know, a big storyline. So you did actually get some time with Leo. So I guess maybe that's why they did it. They thought, oh, we need to, you know, establish him as this White Lighter and get him fully established in the lore kind of thing. So let's just have like a really ridiculous storyline behind it, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I did think that both Piper and Phoebe, when Prue said, oh, I need to find this kid called Matt, this guy called Max, I don't know how to find him. Both Piper and Phoebe were like, oh, don't know if you're going to have any success with that.
They're like, yeah,
I'm going to work.
Off you go. Matthew said Prue was the sister of the week for me. Okay. Lena said a solid 3 brooms.
Yeah.
Matthew said I gave it 4 brooms. The plot was so, but we got Leo and more of his backstory. Yeah,
Is that what you're calling it? Backstory?
Yeah, that's what you backside story. Ding dong. Oh, so that's it. That's our 2 episodes for this month. Done.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, I could chat Charmed all day. I just really love it.
Do you want me to give you the reviews of those 2 episodes?
Oh yes, please.
From the archives.
Yeah, let's go for it, because this was really fun last time.
I'm going back into my Charmed review archives.
Oh, it's so good.
So, From Fear to Eternity, 2 stars.
Whoa! And we gave it 4.
Yeah. This person, this reviewer, gave it 2.
Yeah.
Some Charmed episodes seem suspiciously as though they were written after some punnsome title. This is one of the worst, with a killing by your worst fear plot so old that it's now shaving, has moved out and got an apartment of its own. The only saving grace is a plot thread with the sisters realising Prue never says I love you.
Whoa, that's harsh. This person, like...
I know. Is it Ian Atkins? Yeah, Ian Atkins.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay.
The magazine...
So that was 2 stars.
That was 2 stars. The magazine was called 𝐒𝐿𝐴. Have I mentioned that before?
Oh,
𝐒𝐿𝐴, which sounds like some kind of political, either a porn mag or a political sort of whistleblowing magazine.
Yeah. Whoa, that's harsh. Like, I mean, put the 2 stars aside. What you wrote was really harsh. Oh, okay. Let's go for the next one.
So now, Secrets and Guys, 3 stars out of 5.
What? Yeah. You like this one more?
I won't read out the plot bit, but he says, the parenting message of this story is heavy-handed, but no supernatural enemy is a nice change, the thieves proving particularly nasty. I mean, they shoot people, but they're not particularly nasty.
Not that nasty.
And the development of Leo's character was long overdue. Anyone who's seen Britain's The Tomorrow People will find the plot reminiscent of the episode One Law. Oh. Wasn't The Tomorrow People the one about... No, that was Australian. The girl from Tomorrow, Alana, when she was like... She arrived from... That was The Tomorrow World, or The Girl from Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I've never seen the Tomorrow People.
No, I can't think what
No.
that is. But he again, we do not agree.
Sorry, Ian.
No,
Agree.
sorry, Ian.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe he gave that one more stars than the first one.
Crazy.
With the, like, quite good demon in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who is this guy?
Everyone's gone for the Ian.
Oh dear. Kirsty said an extra broom for Leo sounds right to me. Yeah. Lena said time goes fast. Yeah, these chats go super fast.
Okay.
Matthew said hopefully we'll have even more Leo toolbox to discuss next time. Oh, Karen said that the Tomorrow People loved that show, but it was so cheesy.
Oh, I bet it was.
Look it up.
If it was British and it was sci-fi, it was probably incredibly cheesy.
Definitely. So next time we're going to be chatting about episode 15, which is, tell me if I'm saying this right. So, is there a woogie in my house?
Is there a woogie in the house?
A woogie. Oh, now we're going to have to say woogie.
Be revealed.
Is there a woogie in the house? Not a woogie.
Not
a woogie having
Boogie
a boogie. And obviously episode 16, which is called Which Prue Is It Anyway?
2 question mark episodes.
Yeah, I love it. And we're going to be doing a bit of an earlier chat next month, which is the 3rd of August.
Yeah.
So super, super early in the month.
Get a good
just because,
charmed fix for the month.
It's like August and like holidays and stuff. So, but we can still get charmed in. We worked out. Yes. So, it's got Todd from Neighbours in, the Tomorrow People. Oh, okay. I'm going to check that out when I come off the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, thanks for chatting.
Yeah.
It's been so good.
It was great.
I love chatting charms, and I
can't
always
wait for the next 2 episodes. They're going to be so good.
Are they good episodes?
They're really
then they're
good episodes. Yeah,
can't wait.
Get
I cannot
ready.
wait. So on that note, we'll see you next month. And thanks to everyone for joining in the chat as well and telling us what you thought. And obviously, if you're watching the playback, please comment and we'll always reply and answer you. So join in. All right.
Bye,
then.
everyone.
Thanks, Josh. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you later. Bye. Ding dong.
Ding dong.